So if Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar can win their elections, they stayed with their integrity. They can stand up with integrity. Maybe Democrats can actually stand on principle. Maybe Democrats can actually have some integrity. Kamala lost. You don't think that's a repudiation of Zionism and of the fucking genocide? You know, if there's one good thing you can say about this thing, if that motherfucker carries on with the genocide, then you'll get the Democratic establishment to finally be against murdering a bunch of fucking kids. The Democrats thinks it's okay to murder a bunch of kids, murder people's fucking pets, murder. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now they're going to be afraid that Donald is going to do the exact same thing as Biden. Oh shit, now he's going to do the same fucking thing. Constantine kissing my ass. He says Americans love immigrants. So, we're not racist? You're telling me there's no Confederate flags in America? You're telling me there's... Constantine Kissin says that Americans love immigrants and that they're the most philo-Semitic people on earth. You're telling me these fucking Confederate, goddamn KKK, Nazi motherfuckers... do they even know what philo-Semitic is? I've heard the N-word too many goddamn times. I see too many goddamn Nazi and Confederate fucking flags to believe that bullshit. Oh yeah, love immigrants. He just got elected. It's not for loving immigrants. That's for Constantine Kissin. Donald is white America's last gasp. Donald is a reactionary to too many changes in the world. Oh my God, we got the internet, and now we got the AI robots. Well, that's Elon Musk. There's a lot of fucking confusion. Where is he going to stand? It's going to be Congress, what Congress, the right-wing Congress is going to pass. And then, you know, what would be exciting is in 2 years, you're going to see the Congress flip, because you're going to tell me that we're going to just go along with this insane, fucking chaotic fucking anarchy? So, what a great time, right? Voting in our last presidential election. We'll always have memories of the democracy. Remember when we used to vote every 4 years? Hello, batshit crazy land. Batshit anarchy and chaos crazy land. Oh, man. You know, when we had a democracy, what was it? Churchill said that all the governments, democracy is a terrible fucking system except for every other fucking system. Ranked choice voting won in D.C. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren won their Senate seats. It pays to have some integrity. You might disagree with them, but they're standing up for their principles. They're not just bullshitting you. Oh yeah, you care about the Palestinian people, huh? Yeah, you spend $50 fucking billion to kill those Palestinian kids. Every fucking day you kill them kids. Every fucking day. You don't think that has anything to do with why you just got thrown out? It's not Donald is fucking great. It's that people are sick of the elites. They're sick of a do-nothing fucking unprincipled president. They're sick of the bullshit. There might be a couple positives, but today is both a bad day and a good day. This is a repudiation of Zionism, but it's also a fucking resurrection of the Confederacy. The Confederacy, white supremacy. I'm sure not all... Donald didn't create white supremacy, but white supremacy contributed to Donald. And maybe some other shit, right? Elon Musk, what the fuck? $15 hour minimum wage won in Missouri. And then you had some fucking paid sick leave. People believe in goddamn populist policies. Thomas Massey won his uncontested seat. He ran against nobody and he won. Bob Ferguson won in Washington State. He says that the police need to have higher expectations. They need to have a higher threshold, higher principles than the rest of us. They need to be held to a higher standard than the rest of us. That was Bob Ferguson in Washington State. So D.C. voted ranked choice voting. Bernie and Elizabeth won. Thomas Massey, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. So the 47th President of the United States. So hello, President Benjamin Netanyahu and Vladimir Putin. Hello, President Putin and Netanyahu. Kamala lost by 31,000 votes in Wisconsin. Jill Stein got 12,000 votes. So all of Jill Stein votes for Kamala. Kamala still loses in Wisconsin. Robert Kennedy dropped out of the race. He ended up getting 17,600 votes. He got more votes than Jill Stein. Fucking Butch Ware said he was going to win the whole thing. He was going to win the presidency. You can't blame Jill Stein or Butch Ware for the loss in Wisconsin. Kamala lost by 155,000 in Pennsylvania. Jill Stein got 33,000 votes. 33,000 votes doesn't overturn 155,000 votes. So you can't blame Jill Stein for Wisconsin. You can't blame Jill Stein for Pennsylvania. They were too fucking irrelevant. Nobody voted for them. How are you going to blame the third party that nobody voted for? Kamala lost Georgia by 120,000 votes. Jill Stein got 18,000 votes in Georgia. Kamala lost North Carolina by 190,000 votes. Jill Stein got 24,000 votes. 24,000 votes doesn't overturn 190. 18,000 votes doesn't overturn 120,000. 190,000. You can't blame Jill Stein for Wisconsin. You can't blame Jill Stein for Pennsylvania, nor North Carolina, nor Georgia. Jill Stein didn't get the votes to be relevant. Jill Stein didn't fucking matter in this election whatsoever. Instead of goddamn demonizing people and acting like you're so much fucking better than everybody, you bunch of pompous fucking stuck-up assholes, why don't you try to bring people in? You could have gave Robert Kennedy the CIA job. You could have put him in charge of fucking something. The Kennedy name, and the Democrats, you couldn't bring a Kennedy into the tent. You want people pissing out of the tent, not pissing into the tent. Bring Jill Stein bring Chase Oliver, bring these goddamn third-party candidates into the tent. You're just going to let, what, a whole bunch of people mutilate their genitalia, and then they're going to call you woke and extreme? Meanwhile, there is a lot of spending, but there's no UBI. So you got all this spending, and it's a patchwork. It's all over the place. It's all the fucking douchebags, the poorest of the poorest, the fucking criminals. That's one good thing about Donald. Maybe he'll kick all the fucking criminals off of our welfare system. But welfare doesn't go to the working class. It doesn't go to the middle class. The whole idea of welfare is to bridge the gap. You don't live on food stamps. You get food stamps for a month or 2 or 3. So that way you can get the new job. But instead they'll fucking look down upon you. No, only if you're absolute destitute or you're one of their friends. The fucking bureaucracy. You don't care about no democracy. You care about the bureaucracy. Democrats, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden, they would rather lose the presidential election than to end the genocide. So thank God the genocide wasn't fucking normalized. Every fucking day you all want to kill kids. 50 fucking kids every fucking day. So that's one good thing about Donald winning. I can't wait for tens of millions of Democrats to finally decide that genocide is a bad thing. When Donald does it, being complicit in genocide, while whining that Netanyahu just wouldn't stop bombing hospitals, schools, children, the press, UN workers, with your fucking bombs. $50 billion, tanks, planes, bombs. We sent 100 troops over there. Not to invade them, but to support their defense system. Even AOC was for that fucking Iron Dome. Good job, AOC. Do you see fucking Whoopi Goldberg just talking about how Liz Cheney has such a good moral core? She should be the head of the FBI or the CIA or something. And AOC, sit down. Whoopi Goldberg has goddamn been out here for years. What are you talking about, Whoopi? You made a couple fucking movies. Jumpin' Jack Flash, Whoopi. Jumpin' Jack Flash. Now the Republicans are going to have to govern. Now you're going to have to fucking lead. Now you're going to have to come up with policies. You want to shit on the catless fucking, old ass catless fucking single ladies? There was something, if you're over 40 years old and you're a female, there was a Mary Wollstonecraft. What good are you? What good are you? You're going to be a fucking asshole acting like what? You get to tell grown-ass men what to fucking do? Maybe that's what white women are saying. They want their men to be stronger. They want their men to tell them to shut the hell up and get back in the kitchen, to know their fucking role. And I'll talk about the word liberal. Holy shit. Kamala wasn't liberal. She was exciting against Bernie Sanders. And then this time she was so fucking right-wing. You tell me what liberal policy she fucking ran on. She was so right-wing, offering liberal breadcrumbs. Peanut the squirrel was fucking liberal. That's empathy. That's compassion. Don't rob people their pets and fucking kill them. So many goddamn people made that partisan. Well, if the Republicans believe it, then clearly I'm going to disagree with it. Well, why don't you have your own fucking thoughts? Why don't you think independently and come up to your own conclusions about things? For me, I need to get with people that have the same definition of the words that I use. Because liberal means change. And if some of these Jill Stein motherfuckers are saying that Jill Stein wasn't going to change shit, you're dumb as shit. Jill Stein was about community. Jill Stein was about bleeding heart, caring about the Palestinians. What about that? In my understanding of liberal and conservative, sometimes you got to change things. Sometimes you got to keep it the same. Sometimes you care about the whole community. Sometimes you care about the individual. Sometimes you think and lead with your heart. Sometimes you lead with your brain. So we need balance, definitely. But you're going to try to tell me that Jill Stein don't think with her heart. She don't care about the community. And she's not going to fucking change shit. Shut the fuck up. You're not using the same words. You're not using the same definition of the words that I'm using. My guess is you don't have any definitions for any of your fucking words. You're just a bullshitting asshole. Bill Clinton had nothing but bullshit. We had the post-truth era with Donald. Yeah, that motherfucker that lies all the time. Let's vote for that guy. He lies all the time. Why would we not vote for him? So thank God that genocide was not normalized. Thank God that Kamala and Biden is going to be the rock that Zionism dies on. Now the Republicans have to govern. Rashida Tlaib got 77% of the vote in a district that Kamala Harris lost. So it's about integrity. It's about principles. It's about having a spinal cord. Democrats need to have introspection, and Democrats need to evolve. Have a fucking spinal cord. Be strong. Be formidable. Okay, your dad was a fucking piece of shit. Who gives a shit? Fucking stand up and have a spinal cord. Have the possibility of being dangerous. Have the possibility of being a monster. Carry a sword, but you keep it sheathed. If you're not formidable, they're just going to walk all over you. So it's about principles and aiding your communities. I hope Trump lives up to his promise to end the Israeli war on Gaza and Lebanon and the Ukraine-Russia war. But I'm not naive. I think Putin's just going to fucking take Ukraine, NATO, Europe is fucking finished. I won't forget the vile images from 2018 of the Trump administration opening the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Israeli snipers murdered 58 Palestinian protesters that day. If Donald Trump listens to Marion Adelson, Mike Pompeo, and Jared Kushner, he'll drive us into World War III. And his presidency will be even worse than the Biden-Harris era. So we overthrew the bastards, the elitist establishment, doing a genocide. And we might need to do it again, and again, and again, until eventually the genocide fucking stops. Who the fuck supports it? The majority of Americans do not support the genocide. So the billionaire class won, the donor class won. Somebody said that they were glad that Trump had won just so we could do away with the decorum of these mass murderers pretending to be sane and civilized. Trump is a Zionist who uses Palestinian as an insult and says he wants to help Israel finish the job when it comes to the Gaza genocide. He boasts to have done more for Israel than any other U.S. president, which is true. And I've reminded you all multiple times of his garbage accords, moving the embassy, trying to validate Israel's theft of the Golan Heights from Syria. Donald Trump is going to let Israel kill anybody that they like. He says he wants the war over by his inauguration. So they got 2 months to willy-nilly kill everybody that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris wants them to kill. Donald is in the pocket of the pro-Israeli lobby. He got $100 million from Adelson's widow for the West Bank. But the West Bank ain't his, and he's going to find that out. Gaza and the West Bank and Lebanon, you're not supposed to take other people's country, you Nazi fucking Hitler fuck. Justice for Peanut. So many Democrats were shitting on that fucking poor squirrel. Cenk Uygur was just laughing at it. He cared about a squirrel. It wasn't just his pet, but it was his livelihood. They made money off of that squirrel, and they had a whole farm of goats and horses and alpacas. It was a rescue farm. How are they going to feed the alpacas and the goats and the horses now? Do you even give a shit how people have to make money and make their livelihood out here? COVID, you just want to shut all these small businesses down and then they go bankrupt? Democrats gave us no substance to vote for. Where was the public option at, Joe? Where's the homes for the homeless? The war on poverty, Joe? How about those Tubmans, Joe? You didn't do shit. No universal health care nor public option. What about paid medical family sick leave? What about universal basic income? What about ranked choice voting? What did you do? You've been a right-wing conservative piece of shit the entire time. You changed nothing. You was all about the status quo. To call Joe Biden a liberal, you gotta be the dumbest motherfucker ever. You gotta be the dumbest motherfucker ever to think that Joe Biden is a liberal. When he was in the 90s, the Clintons passed welfare reform, the crime bill. They invaded all these countries. What is liberal about any of these? That's not FDR. That's not Abraham Lincoln. That's not even George fucking Washington. How about passing the Bill of Rights again? These are shit libs. These are neoliberals. When it comes to the word liberal, I grew up on Rush Limbaugh. Oh, the liberals think this, and then the liberals think that. What liberals? The Clintons? Richie Torres? They said that the Arabs deserve to die. They were all about the genocide. Richie Torres and Bill Clinton are fucking right-wing conservative bastards. They want the status quo to be maintained. So does Joe Biden. Joe Biden was for segregation. Goddamn, Occupy happened under Obama. And then goddamn embracing the Cheneys? Oh, good old Liz Cheney. Good old Dick and Liz Cheney. What are you talking about? The Cheneys orchestrated the murder of 1.5 million Arabs. Maybe the Muslims in Michigan probably didn't like to hear that. And then the surgical transgender crap. Don't transgender our kids. Cross-dressers are fine. Be who you are. If you're a grown-ass adult, you could love a man and you could love a woman. Stop right there. Don't be loving fucking corpses. Don't be loving anything else. Adult men, adult women, in the privacy of your own home. You think you're a female in your heart, in your soul? Okay, then be feminine and be gay. Gay it up. Cross-dress. Wear a dress if you feel like it. You're a woman who thinks you're a man? Then dress tough. Be who you are. Transgender folks get human rights. They get American rights. But to think that chopping up your genitals and to pretend that you're something that you're not, that is not imitatable. That is not something that we should follow. You're a goddamn science experiment. No, you shouldn't be chopping up your own genitals. You got genital mutilization in Africa, and it's fucking bullshit that they do that shit. You have goddamn genital mutilization in the United States. How many circumcisions are there? Sacha Baron Cohen, that's how he tells if you're Jewish or not. You been circumcised? Okay, well then you're Jewish. Well then shit, that makes me fucking Jewish. I like the 10 Commandments, but the fucking Old Testament is bullshit. I'm definitely glad we evolved to Jesus. Care about justice. You people who care about tithing, goddamn mint and cumin and dill. But you forget about the important virtues. Perfecting the union and establishing justice, faith and mercy. Martin Luther King was about justice. Muhammad was about justice. James Madison was about justice. Justice Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. And injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So the limousine liberals on Morning Joe are concluding that Kamala Harris lost because the Democrats were too woke and they pushed cancel culture. You know what? That's kind of true. They're too woke when it comes to goddamn transgendered fucking genital mutilization. But cancel culture, you know, how many times I've seen all these past elections when it comes to cancel culture. You had, what's his fucking name? It's like they just laughed the Democrats into oblivion or laughed the fucking Republicans. Okay, so Dan Quayle didn't spell potato right. Oh my God. And then people, you want to be part of the cool kids, right? So you don't want to be, well, I know how to spell potato. I'm really good at spelling potato. Then you had Dukakis. He was in a tank and he wore a helmet and he didn't look like a strong commander. He's just like smiling like a little fucking... Who gives a shit? Howard Dean says, "Hiya!" I'm glad we're not fucking throwing the entire campaign of a person just because they did something that wasn't fucking just looks normal and right. And what the fucking Elon Musk was like, USA! Ah! Was that cool? Donald's fucking dancing. Is that cool? Just moving his arms. To be a good dancer, you gotta wiggle your ass. You gotta have some movement in your body. Just moving his arms. And then YMCA all the goddamn time. It's a good song, but it's pretty gay. Is he okay with gay folks now? So the elitist and the fucking establishment, the institutions that have ignored working class people, you gotta pay attention to this. You can't just shit on all white folks. So ruling class elites and establishment institutions. There's a lot of fucking crap institutions. Reality is why Kamala lost. 75% of voters said inflation had severe or moderate impact. 73% of voters said they were dissatisfied or angry about the way things are going. You can't ignore that 3/4 of the country don't like how things are going. 3/4 of the country says that the fucking prices at the grocery store are way too fucking high. Tim Walsh was talking about curbing freedom of speech. He said hate speech and disinformation need to be curbed. Hate speech I can understand, somewhat. Disinformation, people need to be able to speak their ideas so they can formulate their thoughts. So if you're just saying a bunch of hate and you're doing it all the fucking time, alright, but disinformation, you don't goddamn stop the First Amendment free speech with censorship. You do it with more speech, better truth, better arguments. Kamala Harris said she was going to regulate social media. They are coming after the First Amendment. Kamala and Tim Walz were coming after the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and the Third Amendment. We got a Bill of Rights for a fucking reason. In 2022, Elon Musk wrote, "If free speech is lost even in America, tyranny is all that lies ahead. Censorship isn't the solution to bad speech. Good speech is the solution to bad speech." So let's see here. In 1928, the Republicans had 56 senators, and then by 1932, under FDR's leadership, it was reduced to 36. Democrats can and will make a comeback with a bold economic vision that speaks to the needs of working class Americans. Kennedy, LBJ, they're pretty good. Nixon and him getting fucking kicked out, that also helped goddamn leftist policies. Nixon was the last liberal president that we had. And then we kicked that bastard out. And then with that impeachment Congress, we got a lot of shit passed. A bunch of shit was passed with that impeachment Congress. We threw out a president. We threw out 2 presidents over Vietnam. Maybe 3. I don't see why the Dems couldn't have brought RFK into the tent. I don't see why they couldn't have brought Jill Stein and Cornell and Chase Oliver and Robert Kennedy into the tent. You'd rather people piss out of the tent instead of into the tent. So if you bring folks into the tent instead of shoving them out and fucking being a pompous ass, acting like you're fucking better than everybody. When I think about all the stupid ass policies he ran on, it wasn't about his policies. Maybe he's just real. He's just honest. I don't know. Maybe he's not honest, but there's something real to him. He doesn't just have a bunch of canned speeches. He's entertaining. Is that what the appeal is? So we're going to have to do tariffs now. We're going to have to eliminate the Department of Education. RFK is going to eliminate vaccines. Like, what the fuck did these motherfucking... I think half the country is pretty fucking stupid. But I wonder if the other half of the people that voted for Donald, if there is something to it. Maybe, I mean, not only... They didn't vote just for the goodness of Donald because we had two shitty candidates, right? They also voted against the shittiness of Kamala. So, was he great? Was he good? Maybe he was just incrementally, like, decent, better than in their minds. So, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Welcome to batshit crazy land. Welcome to hell. Had Kamala Harris had won, I would have got behind her and been super excited and got with the economic plan. And I remember when Barack Obama won and he got in, he was like, you know, I kind of need your all's help. And I kind of just kept on criticizing him all to the side without actually saying anything. So we need to organize. We need to grow a fucking backbone. And when it comes to Sammy Hamdy was crying and he was like, you survived, Donald. We can't survive Joe Biden. We can't survive any more of this genocide. They've already killed 240,000. Yeah, Donald did some shit. Donald set up the fucking genocide. He's talking about doing a bigger genocide. But it was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that killed 240,000 Palestinians every goddamn motherfucking day. Every day. To the tune of $50 billion in the last couple months. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Sammy Hamdy. You're welcome. You said that we could survive Donald Trump. Yeah, we did survive Donald Trump. But it was awful. It was terrible. It was fucking hell. But we weren't bombed into oblivion like Palestine was. I think Zionism absolutely broke the Democrats. You can't out-Republican the Republicans. You can't be Diet Republican because the people are going to vote for the real fucking thing. Oh, you bought Diet Mountain Dew? Why'd you do that? They'd rather get the code red. MAGA communism, motherfuckers. No, not MAGA. I guess we all got to be communists. Is that what it is? Can we be communists? Liberals, I like my freedoms. I like the libertarian. I like the Bill of Rights. I like the Constitution. You want to overthrow the whole fucking thing and throw out the Constitution, our promissory note, the contract between us, we the people, and the government? You're going to throw away our civil liberties? Fuck you. The three branches of government, you're going to throw all that shit away? Sometimes you can hold your nose on some compromised issue. But to ask people to vote for killing hundreds of thousands of kids every goddamn day? Fuck you. Fucking fuck you. Yeah, la 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 la, you can't hear us. La 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 la, we're not listening. La 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 la, when she was a fucking dick. Hey, I'm speaking. Yeah, but you weren't listening. You were speaking, but you didn't listen. I've known politicians who just did a listening tour. I feel your pain. I hear your pain. What are you going to do about it? I don't know. But now that I know, now I got the information, the data, maybe I can see what the actual problem is, because you can't have a real solution if you don't know the real problem. JFK, the files, the Epstein files, the UFO files, Donald said he was going to release all the files. The UFOs, the Epstein files, the JFK files. Who all went to that damn Epstein Island? Who were all best friends with that sick fucking pedophile fucking piece of shit Epstein? I want to know the Epstein list. JFK's head went back and to the left, back and to the left, back and to the left. Release the fucking JFK files, motherfucker. He says there's still people alive today that wouldn't like what's in it. Okay, 330 million Americans wants to know what happened to our president. If they can't even protect our president, what chance do any of us have? What are we holding on to, Sam? We're holding on that there's good in the world, Mr. Frodo, and that it's worth fighting for. Paid sick leave passed in Nebraska. Minimum wage passed in Missouri. The Justice Department announced that conditions in Georgia prisons violate the Constitution's 8th Amendment. 1,000 inmates have died in Georgia prisons since 2021. The DOJ report cites horrific conditions of inmates being tortured and maimed. Today is a vindication of the collapse of Zionism. That's a good thing. But the celebration of the Confederacy, that's a bad thing. Abraham Lincoln is rolling in his grave right now. He got shot in the head for this fucking bullshit. Democrats need introspection and evolution. Democrats need to grow a goddamn spine. We need to organize, do some introspection, do some evolution. Stop being so goddamn fucking weak. Stop being a wet fucking noodle. Stop being such a fucking pushover. Have the possibility of being dangerous. You may sometimes need to be a monster. Have a sword, but keep it sheathed. For fuck's sake. God damn it. You're so much smarter and better than everybody. Yeah, why don't you stop being a bunch of pompous assholes? Start being humble. Meet people where they are. What the fuck?